Hello. Hello, hello. Welcome, everyone. How's everyone doing? So, we're on episode 2 of Orbal Chats, and I do have some things prepared, but how I want to structure Orbal Chats every Wednesday, I will have some topics prepared that's usually gaming related, like news stuff, but also open the floor to you guys, so you guys could always just insert whatever you want to talk about, and we could have it back and forth. So welcome, welcome. Hi, Kugan, Osman, Spooky Boy, you want to go to bed? It's because of the music? Or is it, what time is it over there? Don't blame me either way. Hi, Jules. Scooby Dooder. Hi, just found your YouTube channel recently. I'm glad I did. It's been really nice listening to you chat about JRPGs in the background while I'm working. Well, you're in store, but we're talking more about JRPGs here in the background. If you're, I'm assuming, in this time zone, so you're probably working. Danny, hello. Garion, hello. You been good, Jules? You checked out my latest video. I did post one. It was supposed to go out Monday, but here we are. I posted it Wednesday. I would have posted it yesterday, but then we're doing like a double stream, so I was like, maybe I should hold off posting this video. But yes, I talk about 10 so-called mid games that I'm glad I didn't skip out on. I feel like there's this narrative in gaming right now that's kind of encouraging people like, oh, this game is mid, so you don't have to worry about it. You could kind of just skip it. It's not going to be an experience worth having, or don't waste your time on it. But I very much disagree with that sentiment. So that video, I talk about 10 in particular so-called mid games, or games that were considered mid when they came out, and why I don't think people should skip out on them. How the Fire Emblem Direct last week was good? It was good. I'm looking forward to Fire Emblem. LCD LED, hello, hello. Hello, Sai. Joe, hello, hello. Happy Wednesday. Hi, Fuddy Duddy. And Napalm, hello. All games are bad. I want to complain. Just JK, having a lot of fun with the Farthest Frontier. How did it take you so long to get into medieval simulators? I can't say I've ever played one, but I'm glad to hear you're enjoying it. Is that a new one? Sounds cool. Afterglowy, hello. Perfect timing to get through the night shift. Yes, I hope this. It's noon my time, so it's prime lunchtime. But I figured this was a good period to kind of go over a lot of different time zones. I think in Europe, though, if you're like more Eastern, it's probably bedtime still. But hopefully this is still a okay compromise. I'm trying to hit more time zones. Mr. 90s, hello, hello. And Brawls? Nintendo Canada posted more copies of Xenoblade 2 Switch 2 Edition. Now we wait. Nice, nice, nice. Was that out of stock for a while? I didn't realize that. Majal, you started a game called Conception recently. It's a weird JRPG. I have that too. Or I had it. I think I sold it. It was a weird, yes, Atlas game. I had it on the 3DS. Where, yes, you make babies and fight in dungeons with your children. Very much a strange game. I think it's Conception 2 is the one I had. Joel just started Cold Steel 4, waiting for a Trails in Sky second chapter remake. We're almost exactly a month now. A month and a few days. We'll have that game. Hi, Freakasaur. You want to know if you have to start panic buying Switch 2 games now? No. No. So we could go on to the first topic if you guys like. I made a post about this on Twitter. Let me pull that up. But basically, people are very much concerned about all these Bethesda releases, how they are out of stock. You can't find them anywhere. Oblivion Remastered, which I did a live preview of last week. There it is. You can see them up on eBay for at least like $150, brand new, sealed. And this game literally just came out yesterday. It's ridiculous. Same thing with Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. People are having difficulty finding this out in the wild. the physical copy, so people, of course, are just marking them up on eBay and other places. But as I said in my tweet, these are not limited editions. They're going to reprint these. Like so many Switch 1 releases got reprinted. I don't see how that's going to be any different from these Switch 2 releases that came out this year. So these retail releases will definitely get printed. Don't FOMO buy them and pay ridiculous amounts of money here to get them. So another thing to note is Bethesda themselves said, more retail copies are on the way. Check retailers later this month. So if you want Oblivion remastered physically on the Switch 2, later this month, apparently they're going to get another wave of retail copies. So they're definitely reprinting these. And I'm sure they know about Indiana Jones too, so they'll reprint those as well. But yeah, so that was one of the topics I wanted to clarify, because I've seen this comment come up on my live stream I did yesterday on the VOD, as well as just random videos that I talk about Switch 2 physicals. People are saying how difficult it is to find these, and they're worried that they have to buy them now, but no, you don't have to. Sorry if I miss anyone's chat. It's going a little fast because we are multi-streaming, both on Twitch and on YouTube. Play some mid games, says Joe. You might be missing out on some of your favorite game experiences, right? Right? I think that's very true. And a lot of those games that I highlighted in my latest video I dropped this morning, I think definitely kind of showcase that. Let's see. You're commenting, but if disappeared or whatever reason, you think the games you've been playing would fall under mixed categories, yet we're like Another Code, Recollection, and Tales of Rise? I don't know what you mean by mixed category. It's 7 a.m. in New Zealand. Good morning, Lucky Steakaways. Good morning. Good morning. That's bright and early. It's standard 3 p.m. for you right now, Jules. It's relaxing. It came out last year, that medieval simulator, Napalm. Definitely an interesting experience. You grew up with Sims. Yeah, I played The Sims as well, and I think it was Sims 2 is when I mostly played. And then I loved Legoland, which was basically a theme park simulator. Those are like the big simulators games I played. I've not played any recently, but you know, now that I'm playing more games on my PC, who knows, maybe I'll revisit Sims, like any sim. Let's see how that is again. It's very much a nostalgic genre for me. Consumption, huh? Time to make babies. That's the point of that game. Mars, hello. You just finished Xenoblade 2. The game is still great. I'm like so behind in my replay of Xenoblade 2. I wanted to make a video on it too, but I want to get a little further. But I've been so busy trying to make videos. But, and then also playing more on stream than I usually allocate for. Like, on stream, I've been trying to limit it to 4 to 4.5 hours of streaming, but yesterday we did 8.5 hours of streaming. I don't know, I'm failing, trying to limit my streaming time so I can get to other things. Brawls, the Xenoblade 2 physical was out of stock for a month. But the Switch Sports Resort 2, surprisingly, was out of stock in Canada. I have a feeling, even if Nintendo themselves don't reprint some of those titles, at least Video Games Plus, I think they have a pathway to get those games. They did that for Xenoblade 2 on the Switch 1, when that was out of stock forever. So hopefully that's still the case. Do I think FW Dagon Collection will restock? I don't know what that is. So if there's any retail release, it's probably going to be restocked. It's my prediction. If there's demand, places like Video Games Plus will do reprints, initiate them, or the market, they'll notice there's demand for it. Don't panic buy every Switch 2 game, Spooky Boy. But yes, I feel like there's a lot of people taking advantage of the physical gaming market right now because a lot of it has to do with the news of Sony discontinuing their Blu-ray discs. And so there's many people trying to take advantage of collectors. So don't fall into those traps, is all I'll say. Don't fall into it. Whether it's for modern games or retro games, don't fall for it. There's plenty of other cool stuff we can, you know, spend with our hobby. These things come and go. Don't be taken advantage. Kugan, you got a decent price of the PS5 copy for Code Vein 2? Oh, let me know how that goes for you. I've not played, or have they released the DLC yet for that? I guess they haven't released it yet. I'm curious what the DLC is going to be like. Bobby, hello. Am I going to sell my regular Switch 2 and buy the Zelda Switch 2? No, I'm not. So that brings me, I guess, to the other point. We'll just keep going. Whenever you guys bring up a topic that I had prepared, I will insert it here. Let me grab it. So there were leaks recently of what's happening with Zelda's 40th anniversary. So I'll pull up this on Twitter. You could see these photos of this box. So it looks rather legit, doesn't it? This is the Switch 2 Pro controller, which I won't lie, I'm tempted to get this because I hear a lot of people love the Switch 2 Pro controller over the original Switch Pro controller. And I have the Tears of the Kingdom Pro controller, so wouldn't this look nice with the Zelda 40th anniversary Switch 2 Pro controller? I don't know. I need to be careful. I need to be careful. But the more I look at this, I like the shade of gold against the black. I think that is what they should do. This green, I wish it was kind of more similar to like that Zelda green, like what you see in the logo here. But I do like the shade of green, and I can see how it could work well. The gold bumpers, I don't know. It might look a little tacky. Sometimes gold and like plastic gold could look a little tacky. So I hope it looks as nice as kind of the gold paint we see on the black face of the Switch 2 Pro controller. But I don't know. But for the special edition console, we can't really see the Joy-Cons all that well, but it looks like they're going for a very subtle pattern, both green and black with gold accents. And the dock looks really nice, doesn't it? I love the Triforce and all just the triangle motifs. And I want to say this is brown, which is interesting. They have brown on the bottom and then black at top. But interesting things going on, right? Oh, Sai, thank you for 13 months of Prime. I missed that a couple minutes ago. And Osman, too, for 2 months of Prime. Happy 2 months sub anniversary. Really enjoying the streams and the orbalology community. Here's to many more. Oh, thank you. But yeah, any of you guys interested in buying this? Is there like a price range that you would say kind of like I would buy it if you don't have a Switch 2 yet, or if you do have a Switch 2? If it's priced at $500, which is going to be the new retail price for the Switch 2 that's coming up soon, would you buy it at $500? Or if they have a special edition tax to it, if it's like $550, would you still buy it? For me, I think it looks nice, but I don't need it. I'm going to hold out. If they ever do like an OLED version that's more compact, like a Switch Lite OLED, I might try to buy another Switch 2. But I don't think that'll be a few years from now, so nothing I need to worry about anytime soon. But for those who have like a plain dock, like I have, there are some cool options you could do. There are decal skins, or on my Switch, I have this Mia from Xenoblade Chronicles 2 faceplate I got from a fan artist, and it makes my dock look pretty. What could I say? So there are solutions if you kind of are a little bit saddened that you didn't go for a special edition console. You can still make your console look nice. The new Pro controller has a material for the grip that makes it easier to hold. Oh, that's nice. The way Emily is talking about Zelda 2's Pro controller, she'll regret it if she doesn't buy it. Oh no, don't add more fuel to the fire, Freakasaur. You're going to pick it up, Joe? Gotta pick it up. The current Zelda Pro Controller needs a friend. You guys are enabling me now. You're just enablers. You might pick up at the new 500 if it's 500. Let's hope they make too many and Costco discounts it. Has Costco ever had a special edition console? I want to say no. So I feel like that dream's unlikely, but you never know, I guess. The Tears of the Kingdom one, they had a lot of copies around. I think you could get like a refurbished one for a while there for a discount. So I imagine they're making a ton of these. Andy, you're going to pick up the Pro Controller? The longer you avoid getting the Switch 2 ads, the more you realize that you have plenty of other stuff to play on other systems. You know, that's a good mentality to have. Sometimes because we like gaming so much and new games, we get caught up in just buying all the new stuff and not appreciating some of the things we already own. So sometimes, you know, just taking a pause or letting the console run its course. That way, once it has a bunch of really great games to play on the system, and when you're ready for it, that's usually a good time to buy. Even if there's going to be a slight bump in the price increase, sometimes, you know, just waiting when the time's right will save you. Monetarily and time-wise. Hi, Wolf. If you want a different skin, just put on a different skin. Yep, you could. You could. Is this going to get scalped to hell? It wouldn't surprise me, but as I mentioned with the Tears of the Kingdom version, I feel like Nintendo knows there's scalpers, there's high demand, so they're just going to make a ton of these. A ton of them. So I think some people might attempt to scalp them, but it will be basically unsuccessful around launch. You love to buy the Joy-Cons by themselves. That would be really cool. I would be down for that myself, though I don't think there's ever been, even on the Switch One's lineup, if they had a special edition console, they don't sell the Joy-Cons separately, do they? I don't think they did that before. I don't really see them doing that this time around, which is disappointing because whenever they do sell those alternate Joy-Cons, they're not that impressive. They just have like little color accents to them. They're not that interesting looking. You don't really purchase special editions if you already have a console. That's, you know, that's the way to go. But it is sometimes awfully tempting, isn't it? The controller is defo a must-have for you, Spooky Boy, because you don't have a Pro Controller yet. So I have 2 Pro Controllers, but they're for the Switch One. Do I need to add a third to that lineup? But with this, so the nice thing about the Switch 2 Pro Controller is you could just press a button, it turns on your console. That's not as much of an issue for me because I could just reach down and press a button. It's not that big of a deal when I'm in my chair. But the little things, right? You could validate your purchases that way sometimes. You're not going to get a new Switch 2 unless they release a detachable upgrade battery. They are supposed to roll out the new model, right, for the Switch 2 that does have a detachable battery in Europe. I wonder if they're going to do that for all the releases because of how that's, you know, being mandated in Europe. And I wonder if this will be included with that. They definitely made a ton of Animal Crossing ones too. That's true. Funny enough, you just caved and bought one day one. It happens. It happens. You just bought a Switch 2, so you're good Afterglowy. I did too. I bought mine in April, so has not been that long since I had my Switch 2. But yeah, I hope they do a Switch 2 Lite. I guess it doesn't even have to be an OLED. It would be nice if it was an OLED screen, but I just do not enjoy the handheld nature of the current Switch 2. I wish it was smaller. Let's see. You still have a larger and larger Switch 1 backlog. I could wait until the Switch 2 Lite and never dock your Switch. The thing is, James, I used to be the same way with my Switch 1, but for Switch 2, I only do it docked. Mostly because a lot of this I have to record footage. So as a content creator, it's been sort of something I've had to do. But I've actually really enjoyed playing it that way. And I just don't enjoy it at all handheld like I did my Switch Lite or Switch OLED. But I don't know. Maybe I'll finally, maybe at some point I'll get more used to it in handheld, my Switch 2. Now you're ready for Fire Emblem and Genesis. Fire Emblem's just around the corner. And Genesis is also kind of around the corner, especially if you're replaying the Switch 2 upgrade paths of the other Xenoblade games. They're keeping us well occupied with Xenoblade, aren't they? With all the upgrades. And then Genesis next spring. Crazy. We honestly need a detachable battery. That just sounds, it's convenient, and it just, future-proofs your console. Otherwise, you might have to like take it into a specialty place if you have battery issues with an old console. They should make that for everyone, not just the EU. There are power banks for the Switch 2, but that's more weight to the system. It is. They do need to improve. So if they do make a Switch 2 Lite, they really need to work on that battery. I think they could do it. At what price point, though? I don't know. Grips might help with the Switch 2. I've had it with a grip. It just makes it even bigger. It's like humongous. It's just, my issue is just it's the size, the sheer size of it. I can hold it okay. It's just, it's too big. Way too big. Game related, you recently saw an article regarding Stop Killing Games and their intention to sue Sony. Yes. So that is also something, maybe I should have brought up that tweet. I could do that. Hold on. Let's switch back and forth. Let me bring that up. Let's see. I think IGN made a statement about that. But the gist of it is that in the Netherlands, I think is where they're filing that lawsuit. They're making their claim that once physical media is gone from storefronts or other retailers, the only way you could buy brand new Sony games is through Sony's digital library directly. And that's basically a monopoly. And they're trying to, stop that from happening. I'm curious what's going to happen. Like, making the case for a monopoly can be kind of tricky. I'm not entirely certain where, it's all heading, but they're at least trying something. Is it going to be successful? I don't know. Here's the article from at least IGN. You guys want to see what that looks like. But yeah, they have almost just over $450 million lawsuit against Sony over the digital store monopoly. So we'll see what happens, because I know the EU is a bit more, there are mechanisms to get consumer rights in the EU. That's more than other places, like here in the US. But I think Stop Killing Games, they tried to, let's see, the initiative working in the end to trend. So if you guys aren't familiar with Stop Killing Games movement, it's basically a lot of live service games or like MMOs. Whenever they have an end of life, whatever money you pour into those games, or the time you spent in them, all the work that was made to make those games, they get completely like offline and erased. And so they're trying to make it so that there is some sort of end of life option for those who have to still experience those games in some sort of fashion. And so now they're trying to make that happen, and also this fight against Sony's plans. Have they been successful yet? Not really, but they've been gaining momentum, I would say. You could see here how many, they have a lot of verified signatures for a petition. Is it gonna do anything? I don't know. But they are fighting for it. They are fighting for it. We shall see. We shall see what happens with all that. Am I going to buy GTA 6? No. I have so many other games I'm looking forward to this fall. That's not Grand Theft Auto. So I have no plans, personally. You have 2 special edition consoles, Mars. Your Destiny White PS4 and Modern Warfare 2 360. Don't think they added any monetary value to them. There are some of those. It depends, though. There are some special editions that are very much sought after and stupidly expensive, especially if you still have them brand new. Ooh, should we talk about the Falcom news? You guys want to talk about Falcom news? You guys are talking about Falcom. So, Falcom just had their shareholder report of their financials. Here's another article. And so they reported 111% revenue growth and 485% profit growth for the past 3 quarters. And it's mostly due to Trails in the Sky First Chapter. So this Trails in the Sky First Chapter remake has done super well for Falcom. And I know a lot of people are concerned that Trails in the Sky Third Chapter is not going to be remade. It's just going to be skipped over in favor of Crossbell. And I think based off of these numbers, Falcom would be kind of dumb to skip Sky the Third. Because, for multiple reasons. Not only because, you know, how well just the Sky arc, the remakes have been doing for them financially. Most of the assets that would be used in Sky the Third have already been developed in Trails in the Sky First Chapter and Trails in the Sky Second Chapter. They basically just need to copy and paste a lot of those assets and then just very low development for the rest of the game to do the Star Doors and stuff. I think the profit would be huge on that game. Even if it's not going to sell as well, because usually, as you guys know, series, especially if it's a series that is connected, like Trails, the sales tend to kind of drop off a little bit because that's just, you have to, experience the first game and then the second game before you get to the third game. So no one's just going to buy the third game if they haven't played the first 2. That's how it works with books, a lot of movies, sometimes TV shows, all that. So even if the numbers are not going to be, of course, as high as Trails in the Sky First Chapter or even Trails in the Sky Second Chapter, they're still going to make, I think, ridiculous revenue and profit. Just from, the low development costs in general. And won't take that much time to make that game. And that will also prepare them more time to do, I think, the Crossbell duology and try to market that as something that seems like that's a good entry point, even if people haven't played the Sky games, which they should. But I wouldn't be surprised if the Crossbell games, for the remake, they try to position it like Trails in the Sky First Chapter. They might even, rename it as, Trails from 01 or something. Make it seem like you could start here. Just so that people don't feel intimidated. This is the 4th game in this series kind of thing. What do you guys think? They should make Sky the 4th? Oh, what would they do with Sky the 4th? Would this take place after Calvard? Or would this be what Estelle and Joshua and gang is doing while everything else is going on? I don't know if they would do that. They would definitely be dumb not to. I think so. You need another... If Estelle were to lead a game post Calvard arc, I think that would be very interesting. Because we would see her... She has, grown so much in the series. So for her to take on the protagonist role again, I think would be interesting. I think what's more likely going to happen is we would see something sort of like Trails Beyond the Horizon, where one of the 3 kind of arcs or pathways or stories you could go through, or routes, let's say routes. I think Estelle could maybe lead one of the routes. I don't know. I don't think she would get a dedicated game again, but you never know. You never know. Stop being coy, Falcon. My heart can't take it. I think, guys, they have to do this for a reason. They have to generate buzz and drive demand. If they were to just go out and say, we're doing all these games, here's our 5-year plan, I think the momentum that they've built would not be as impactful as them playing coy. That's just my opinion. Like, would I prefer them to be straight up with us and tell us what they'll be doing? Yes, but hype, it really drives a lot of the gaming sphere. So I'm not surprised they're taking a bit of a coy sort of route and keeping their cards close to their chest. But they more or less said they're going to do Sky the Third, in my opinion. Speaking of third chapter, you hope Final Fantasy VII Part 3 gets a physical release. I have seen talk about that, how people are speculating it's going to be digital or a code in the box. I can't imagine they'll do that unless the game needs like three Blu-ray discs to run physically. But even then, I don't know. That would be so weird if they went the digital route for that. You guys saw, I should have also brought this up. Let me see if I can find it. Square Enix, they cited their digital sales recently. Let's see if I can find an article. Square Enix digital sales. They had their digital percentages. So let's see. Okay, I think this one states it. So we're on Gamer Rant. But basically, they said that 90% of its quarterly game sales were via digital storefronts to the 10% margin of physical games. Now, there are a lot of factors in this because they had some heavy hitters on the Switch 2 that were digital only. And just like Capcom, Square Enix is also counting game key cards as digital sales. So we had to read these numbers a little bit more critically. But this is sort of telling shareholders or, you know, people who are not looking at these numbers critically, oh, so this is why they're abandoning physical. Okay, it makes sense why they're going all in digital. So I can see that push from Square Enix just to widen their margins to just keep going, you know, releasing games digitally. Final Fantasy, that's true. Final Fantasy 14 on the Switch 2 as well. Digital only. There's no physical option there. So I don't think that's included in this financial report unless, like, it's outside of the Switch 2. It'll be counted, of course, but it's something to a little sad, yeah, of how it's all going. It also launched on Xbox as well. These ports, which were digital only, I believe, as well. There's no physical copies of those. You think Final Fantasy VII Revelation will be the final physical game from Square Enix? How about Kingdom Hearts 4? You don't think that's going to be a physical game? I think we do have. I prepared this screenshot or tweet. We do have some news from Kingdom Hearts coming up on Saturday, which I wanted to ask you guys. Do you guys want me to react to this? Oops, hold on. There you go. So at D23, so that's the big Disney sort of convention that they do every other year. On Saturday at 4:30 p.m., they'll have a panel with all these people. So someone from Disney and Pixar games, Square Enix, the voice actors of Sora and Riku, and someone else who works on Disney character voices. They're most likely going to be talking about Kingdom Hearts 4. They call this a deep dive into Kingdom Hearts, but I think we all know they're going to mention something about Kingdom Hearts 4. There are 3 places that you could view the stream. So I think this is going to be, there's going to be some big news drops here. I've seen also some people who work at Square Enix hyping up this live stream. So I have a feeling they're going to drop the date for Kingdom Hearts 4 soon. Sometime next year. I gotta stream it. Guys, I've been streaming so much lately, but I can stream it on Saturday if you guys want. We could do a live reaction together. Do they allow restreams? It's on YouTube. I don't see why not. Let's see. You need Kingdom Hearts 4 to be a physical game. I hope it is as well. I hope it is as well. As this meme says. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. You think Sora's joined the MCU? I'm really curious about Kingdom Hearts. Like, are they going to bring back Final Fantasy characters? Like, a lot of them? I hope that's the case. I know, and I have not. I'm starting my Kingdom Hearts replay and also playing the Kingdom Hearts games I've missed leading up to this game. So I'm pretty hyped myself. But I hope they bring back more Final Fantasy in the Kingdom Hearts franchise. That is the hope. The fact that D23 never does live streams has to mean something. I didn't know they never did them. That does, I think, definitely mean something. I think something's coming. Something definitely is cooking. They did announce a Star Wars Marvel comic crossover. You wouldn't be surprised if they delve into IP at the Disney side of things too. I think I saw somewhere, was it in 2024, they announced that they were working on a Kingdom Hearts movie, like an animated movie. But I don't think I've heard anything since then. I think that's been a canceled project. But maybe they'll mention that in this as well. Though, because they have specifically game things, I think that they're going to focus on game stuff at this event. Because they have, you know, this Disney and Pixar games and Square Enix people there. Like, listed first. Oh, it was canceled, sadly. Oh, okay. I didn't know if there was an announcement about a cancellation or they just were mum. But yes, I do think Kingdom Hearts is going to come out holiday of next year. That is my prediction. I don't know if it's actually happening, but I would not be surprised. It's going to happen after Final Fantasy VII Revelation. But I think we're going to get 2 blockbusters next year from Square Enix, like big heavy hitter titles. Triple A. Sora for Doomsday. The Toy Story collection is happening in October. That is true. That is true. I just see that. I've never played any of those. You think they're going to incorporate mobile game characters? Final Fantasy characters could also make an appearance, hopefully, when they do that. I gotta have to look up some things on YouTube about the mobile games if I want to be caught up before Kingdom Hearts 4. Hello, Ace. I hope it does. That's Kingdom Hearts fans could get a real physical 4. I hope so. I hope it's all in the disc. Yeah. Like, if they have to use 2 Blu-ray discs again, like they did for Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, I'd be fine with that. I don't think it costs them that much more because Blu-ray discs are just pennies. Unless the specialized case or something is what's adding to the cost. I don't know. Square Enix is a publisher who rarely even has inside cover art because they want to save pennies on the ink. So I guess I wouldn't put it past them trying to do that. But I don't know. Sora in the next Spider-Verse movie. Imagine. Hey, we got Sora for Smash. I think anything is possible after that. I think Square Enix, they do penny pinch, which is unfortunate. But you know that their financials, they reported they were finally, was it, did they use the words? I think that they said that they met or exceeded expectations, which has been like forever since they've said that with their recent financials. Would anyone ever buy a code in the box? I wouldn't, unless I got it for free or I got it like in a bundle for I couldn't like avoid it because I wanted something else, or it's like clearance, like bargain bin clearance. Then I might consider it and just make it like a digital. I think I would recycle the box or something, but I don't know. I think the Switch 2 is definitely helping Square Enix. I think they made, as I mentioned in that financial report, they made so many more sales, I think, because of the Final Fantasy VII, being on there. So I think I could see Square Enix no longer having timed exclusives on Sony, because I think that kind of backfired their expectations for what happened with Final Fantasy VII Remake and Rebirth. But I wouldn't be surprised if we have timed exclusives on the Switch too, because I think they know a lot of RPG fans buy stuff on the Switch. They've kind of cultivated that environment. You would buy a code in the box if it's like a collector's edition or something like that. Would you guys buy a collector's edition that doesn't come with the game? I guess there are a lot like that. Or there are a lot of collector's editions that do just come with a code. It's not like a code in the box, it's just a code. Though technically some of them even include like steel books with nothing in it. So that's basically a code in a box. It's just a larger box. If you look at the Sony PlayStation sales in Japan, it's abysmal. They've abandoned, games that appeal to that audience. So I'm not surprised. And they've also priced them out a bit. Like Nintendo is still the cheapest console that they could get in Japan. And also, out here in the West too. Emily News Hour, a little bit. A lot of things to talk about today. You rather there are no exclusivities on any platform. I like that idea, but also that would just mean that I would not buy certain platforms. So I could see how that could be detrimental to some, like maybe it's like the old style of how, we used to anticipate every console will have some sort of exclusive that makes you want to buy all the platforms. All the consoles. Now, with how expensive consoles are, I think that is sort of an old school thought. I think people, if they are able to buy more than one console, it's just going to be one game console and maybe one PC, or maybe two game consoles. It's hard to buy all of them nowadays because of how expensive they are. And because, again, there's fewer incentives to buy exclusives if a lot of them are being timed exclusives for first-party games. In that case, like Xbox is kind of doing that. Sony was doing that for a little bit. I don't know what they're going to do post-2028. If they're going to go hardcore on exclusives, we'll see. Maybe they've changed their tune, but I'm not that convinced. They should put them all on PC after 4 years. I don't know if I could ever see a Nintendo game being on PC, like legally. But you never know. Things are changing in gaming at a faster rate than I think a lot of us wanted to. But things are changing. And sometimes it's hard to predict, what some of these companies will or won't do. You started Ryza DX on PS5. Does the combat alchemy make me feel stupid? In what way? Do you feel underpowered? That probably just means that you need to work on leveling up your weapons through the alchemy. They have some auto alchemy stuff I like to utilize a lot. You can definitely get by with the auto alchemy. Price increase not because of inflation due to the majority of consumers having zero knowledge of supply and demand. I wouldn't say it's just all on consumers. It's a little bit of everyone. And marketing conditions and all that. Mario teaches typing on PC. Maybe that one would be okay. Nintendo, they did start in the last decade doing mobile games. So maybe they do have a master plan of going on PC at some point. They're just a little bit lagged behind. Nintendo, They tend to be a little lag behind when it comes to changes in how they look at certain gaming aspects. So maybe. Didn't realize I was streaming today. KG, we'll be doing these Orbal chats every Wednesday at noon. That is the plan. Though next week I can't because I will be traveling to something really cool. I can't tell you guys about it yet, but I'll be traveling to something really cool next Wednesday. But should be something cool, is all I'll say. And hopefully I could release some content on it. Nintendo did mobile games only really to help out their hardware business. They're making bank on some of those mobile games. I don't think it's just to help with the hardware business. They've made some lucrative things on those. Let's see. Nintendo more or less has abandoned mobile at this point. Have they? Fire Emblem Heroes is still going well. That Pikmin game, I think, is still around. I don't think they've abandoned it. I know the new Fire Emblem game did not do well, but going to Falcom headquarters, if only I could travel to Japan. I'll be back Friday, so it's a short trip. It's a short trip. I did hear about the Final Fantasy IX rumors that the remake was in the works, but then was canceled. I heard rumors about that actually 2 years ago through the grapevine. And now I think those rumors are starting to emerge more. I think that is a little disappointing because they just wanted to make the remake contained in one game, and that would have been a nice way to experience it. Part of me wonders, is it because of the Maguri mod? And that just became a very nice experience of how to play Final Fantasy IX on PC. That they're like, well, we don't need to put more effort in this because people might just buy this mod version and, you know, buy the cheaper digital copy of Final Fantasy IX. Like, why are we putting all these resources to make, maybe, I don't know what their plans were for the remake of Final Fantasy IX, but maybe they're kind of comparing the two, like, maybe we'll be competing with this, so maybe it's not worth the effort to further pursue it. But I don't know. You think it's also internal politics? The last few years, they have had a lot of changes in management for Square Enix. You know, when they started to try to push those NFTs and stuff, I'm glad they're no longer doing that. But they have, you know, they shifted their focus of doing a lot of AA titles. Like, they flooded the market with AA titles that did not do well. And now they've been focused more on some of the AAA with a couple of AA titles. Like, they've been trying to pace themselves, I think, a bit better. And I think it's been working really well this last year. I've been pretty impressed with Square Enix's rollout recently. So whatever management changes they did have, I think has been for the benefit. It does suck. I know a lot of people lost their job. That was not good. But when it comes to, I think, how they prioritize certain game development cycles, I think does seem to be good. Megori and Memoria really spoiled us PC gamers, especially now that it's on GOG now. Yes, yeah. Moblin, hello. You might be a bold prediction, but you think it's possible Square are waiting to go back into Final Fantasy IX Remake after Final Fantasy VII Revelation? I still of the opinion I want Final Fantasy VIII to have the next remake. I think it needs it the most. And they also need to port Final Fantasy 13 everywhere, so I could finally go back and play that game. But yeah, we'll see. You notice today they removed OG Final Fantasy VII for Steam. They did that and replaced it with another version. I remember that there was buzz about that, and the community around it was upset because all the mods that they made for it no longer applied to the OG Final Fantasy VII, but they released basically another OG Final Fantasy VII, but a different version. It's like an updated Was it last year or was it this year they did that? Recently-ish. What's my opinion on the slew of rubbish remakes like Oblivion, Assassin's Creed Black Flag, and Halo? Have they been rubbish? I thought a lot of people were saying those are good ways to play those games. Assassin's Creed Black Flag in particular, I thought people were saying that's like the definitive way to play it. Halo, I can't comment on. I don't know what the differences between those are. For Oblivion, I don't know the differences either. I guess once I play the Game of the Year version, maybe I'll know the difference. But I do think we're going to see more remakes happening. It's not even remakes. Those are remasters, right? Or at least for Oblivion, it's a remaster, not a remake. I think we're going to see a lot more, though, remakes and remasters. As studios keep cutting their employees, there's going to be just more emphasis, I think, on upscaling some of the older titles that they know will sell as a way to make money and offset the costs that I think some of those studios have just sunk in too much development cycles. And that's why there's so many layoffs. It's been not good. Final Fantasy VI Remake. I think that would be cool. I do like Final Fantasy VI as it is, though. I don't know if it necessarily needs a remake. It definitely doesn't need a remake compared to 8. I think 8 needs a remake. Final Fantasy VI, I think, would be cool to see in a remake at some time in the future. I don't know if it necessarily needs to be prioritized right now, though. I know it's a very popular title. I just recently played it, the Pixel Remaster version, which I loved. I don't know, like, it would be cool to see, like, 3D models or something with it, but I don't know. They would have to really change things, which I don't know how I feel about that, especially after playing it so recently. You wanted an HD 2D for Final Fantasy VI? I don't know if it needs it. Like, it would be cool, but the Pixel Remaster is really nice. Speaking of remakes, Persona 1 and 2 are making headlines. Yes, I wanted to talk about that as well. Let me find that article. Okay, I got a IGN article here. Alice, producer, says, I think we have to do Persona 1 and 2 remakes. I think there's a lot of people who have been upset with the anniversary for Persona. They've done, brand new art of the protagonists of 1 and 2, but no word of bringing those back, even just as like a simple like remaster or a port. But I am of the opinion that if Atlas, which I think they will, bring back Persona 1 and 2 in some way, they're going to make them like modern Persona games. They're going to add social links. I think they're going to have to rebuild them from the ground up. So, yeah, I think this will upset a portion of the fan base who like OG Persona, but they're so small compared to, I think, modern Persona fans that Alice is kind of going to ignore them. But, the nice thing with a lot of these remakes, remasters, if you're unsatisfied with the remake or remaster that is out, oftentimes there's methods to play the original. There's always like that to fall back on, whether it's through physical media, if you own them on a different system or something, or through emulation, which is becoming more prevalent these days and easier to access than ever. I think that's just kind of be how we'll have to kind of look at it nowadays. Yeah, it's either you piss off OG fans or a remake and don't appeal to newer fans. They won't sell, I think, if they just appeal to OG fans. I think that's the bottom line. I think it's going to sell a lot more if it appeals to modern fans. And so what I think would be a nice compromise, which I would like more studios to do. We kind of saw it with, for example, Final Fantasy Tactics, the Ivalice Chronicles. They offer both the original version of the game in some form and fashion, and also they offer the new one. So having both offered, I think, would be nice. Would that take more time and resources? Yes, but they only have to do like a simple port for the original. I don't think they have to spend so many resources to make that possible. Will they do it though? Probably not. Probably not. Like even Persona for the reload and it looks like for revival, they don't even include the OG like soundtracks of those games or give you the option to listen to the older like voice actors and stuff. Like I think a lot of these studios are kind of like out with the old, in with the new mentality. And steaming forward. Which again, kind of a little bittersweet. A little bittersweet, I'll say. Enjoyed my video today, Zippy? Thank you. Yeah, I was happy to finally get that one out. You prefer an OG Final Fantasy X over the remasters. They lost the original source material to rebuild the models. Yeah. That is an issue with some of the companies like Square Enix. They just threw away their files for whatever reason. At least, I hope, you know, moving forward, a lot of these studios who are making these new games that will be classics in the future, they save all their source files so that they don't have to start from scratch again or something like that. Right now, the only remake that makes you excited is Ocarina of Time, Freakasaur. I'm still mixed about it myself. I hope I like it, is all I'll say. I did not enjoy Ocarina of Time 3 on the 3DS. I've mentioned this a few times in the stream. It was okay. I didn't finish it, though. It would be nice to, I don't know, hopefully connect to it with the remake. They need to show us more what the game's about. I don't really like the art style they showed us with Link in the hut, but I hope it grows on me because there are plenty of games when I saw like an initial preview, I didn't like the art style, but then the game kind of grew on me. So the more you see it. So I hope it's kind of like that. You wonder if they could pull a Dragon Quest XI so you can switch between two styles. That was, I thought, a really cool idea. I would like that. It does take a lot more work to do that, though, than just having the port as an offshoot. Like, you could just play the port on the title screen or play the new version. But going back and forth was cool. I did not actually utilize that as much as I should have when I was playing Dragon Quest XI. Did you say this new mid-games video was a follow-up to the previous video? It's a follow-up to our podcast episode. Last week, we did a video about mid-games and how basically a lot of mid-games end up being hidden gems down the line. And YouTube loves to promote hidden gem games. People find that they are, you know, thirsty for hidden gems. They seek them out. But mid-games, whenever something's considered mid immediately, they kind of disregard it and dismiss it. So it's a follow-up to that. Hi, Abraham. What's wrong with the 3DS version? I don't know. I just didn't like it. I think it just wasn't nice on 3DS. You were the same. You stopped playing Ocarina of Time halfway through on the 3DS. Yeah. I think I was like 3/4 the way, but still, I stopped. At least they didn't put giant eyeballs on bosses like Majora's Mask. Majora's Mask, though, I did finish on the 3DS. I enjoyed that more, despite I don't like time elements in games, but I overcame that while playing it. You think Ocarina is overrated? I feel similarly after playing the 3DS version. If I had an N64 back in the day and booted up Ocarina of Time for the first time, I'm sure I would have loved it. I know a lot of people like to make Ocarina of Time comparisons and Dark Cloud comparisons, and Dark Cloud is just an inferior version of Ocarina of Time. I was the Dark Cloud camp. I like Dark Cloud, but then again, that's the game I played. And it was more of an RPG, so I think that's why I liked it a lot more. You have been a curated collector for a while. I love your content because we have a lot of the same outlooks when it comes to gaming collecting. Oh, it's always nice to see other people who are into curated collecting as well. I would say I'm trying to strive towards curated collecting. I'm not quite there yet, but I'm trying to be more deliberate with all my purchases and what I keep on my shelf. It's a process. It's a never-ending process. In the past, you bought games like Xenosaga 3 or even Raidu Devil Summoner games. How do I feel about the remakes? Have they remake older, expensive games you already own? If I paid a lot of money for a game that they remake, I think my initial reaction would be a little bit, oh, why did I pay so much? But also, I'm excited to revisit that game on a modern setting because I mostly play on modern hardware these days. So to be able to replay that game or play it for the first time with some quality of life enhancements and, you know, better resolution and stuff and just easier for me to play, it makes me excited. For example, the Trails series. I knew Trails in the Sky first chapter was getting a remake. It was my most anticipated game last year. But I still sought out at conventions Trails in the Sky FC, the PSP version, which I paid a lot of money for. Like, it was more expensive than what I paid for the remake. And while I'm not planning to, you know, play the PSP version anytime soon, I was happy to have bought it because I do value certain franchises, and it's nice to own those physical kind of things of history, the original copies. So there's select titles and games I would do that for, but for the most part, I think these remakes and remasters should happen for expensive older titles so that more people can access them. They can finally play through those stories rather than just hear people talk of how great they are and not have an easy way to access them. I think it's more positive than negative. If they redo Persona 2, they would have to merge both Innocent Sin and Eternal Punishment. Those are the two Persona 2 games. I wonder how they would do that. I'm not too familiar with how the Persona 2 games are. I do know that they have those two different versions, though. Would it be something like, you know, SMT5 Vengeance? They have, like, alternating paths? Would they do it like that? I think that could be cool. I think you're going to get Incombini Physical next month. I want that on the Switch, too. It's such a good game. I really enjoyed it when I played that a few months ago. The turn-based combat system in games like Sea of Stars would fit well in HD 2D JRPGs. Yeah, but also there's some really nice HD 2D action games. Like Star Ocean Second Story R looks really nice in HD 2D. I kind of wish they should make Tales of Phantasia. That should be HD 2D. I think that'd be cool. But also Adventures of Elliot looks really nice. That's an action game. HD 2D, I think I'm still of the mind HD 2D is still really fresh and I'm excited to play those games. It hasn't become stale for me yet. I think if they started to look all the same, but thankfully there's enough like variation of the HD 2D style that it doesn't all look kind of cookie cutter RPG maker like, you know, same. So I'm still excited to play them. Ocarina of Time. Dark Cloud, much greater than Ocarina of Time. I'm of that opinion too. Very much of that opinion. You have a hot take on mid-games? Infinity Strash was the game that got me into Dragon Quest. I adore that game even though it was not what you're expecting. I had not heard of Infinity Strash. What is that? Dark Cloud was fun. You love the town building with the dungeon crawling. Yes. I loved it as a kid. I played it so much. I didn't play Dark Cloud 2 as much. But no, I've seen plenty of Dark Cloud slander. How it's just a bad knockoff of Ocarina of Time. I disagree. It's a great game. I really want to replay the second game. Actually, I want to replay both. Eventually, I want to replay both. They are available on the PlayStation Network. I might do that at some point. I don't know when. I'm still a bit miffed at PlayStation to support any sort of digital or streamed game. Or not streamed, subscription game. But we'll see. We'll see. The PSP and PC versions of Trails worth more now? The PC version? Like the Japanese PC versions? I didn't know that. I think I have those technically. You just started this Star Ocean Second Story remake. It's really good. It's in my backlog. I'm thinking I might play the first Star Ocean game before getting to Second Story R, because I hear that's like peak Star Ocean. So I should probably play the first Star Ocean game before I get to that one, so I don't get disappointed when I go backwards. But at some point I'll play them. Maybe on my Let's Play channel that I need to start posting more on. My time management has not been the best lately. Let's see. There's a Star Ocean game with action combat. All the Star Ocean games have action. That Star Ocean is an action RPG game or franchise. Your personal favorite Zeldas is Wind Waker or Twilight Princess. I think mine is still A Link to the Past and A Link Between Worlds. But I need to play Wind Waker and Twilight Princess. You know how they had the rumors of that coming to Switch for like the longest time and never happened? I hope whatever Nintendo Direct has for the Zelda 40th anniversary, I hope they announce that coming to the Switch 2 or something, or Switch and Switch 2. In addition, of course, to more information about Ocarina of Time remake. But they got to have more than that for the 40th anniversary. I really hope so. That would just be so easy. Just give us the Wii U versions. That should be easy enough to port, right? I feel like it would be. Got Dark Cloud on your eye on Thor? One day. One day. Dark Cloud's great. Infinity Strash is a Dragon Quest spin-off game. Oh, it is? Okay. Did that come out here? Dragon Quest is a franchise I'm still learning about. Still learning about. Speaking of your latest YouTube video, all the games are actually in the backlog. Some of them, you're surprised, are being called mid. When they came out, people gave them a 7 out of 10 and say mid. You don't need to play this. It's mid. I played it, so you don't have to play it. That has been the narrative, I think, for the past few years. Of everything's being rated a 7 out of 10 if it's not a blockbuster or AAA title. And it's, I think, not a bit of a disservice to some really cool experiences. Have I seen people reselling Indiana Jones and Oblivion for over $150 on eBay? Yes, we talked about that actually at the start of the stream. Bethesda have already come out saying to expect more copies of Oblivion remaster at retail at the end of this month. I'm sure something similar will happen with Indiana Jones because they know the demand is there. They want to sell more copies. Why should the scalpers get a piece of the pie when they could just print more and sell more? Dark Cloud and Chronicle 2 should both be available standard purchase. Yes, they are. I technically have a $50 gift certificate I've not redeemed on the PlayStation Store I was given for a birthday or Christmas like years ago. I just never knew what to buy with it because I don't buy digital games on PlayStation. I might do that for that and maybe we could stream it or something. I don't know, but not anytime soon. Not anytime soon. Hello, Stuart. What are my thoughts on Chained Echoes? I bought a copy through Silverware. It's the second copy I bought because I bought a Switch version on First Press Games. I'm not expecting to see my money back from that. That whole fiasco, whatever they're doing there. But yeah, I'm glad it finally got another chance for a physical release. And this time with all the DLC. I spent too much money trying to obtain this physical, though. So I felt a little sheepish trying to order, or when I ordered that. But I don't know that's shipping. Hopefully that's shipping semi-soon. Have I played the Oracle games? Of course. Minish Cap I have not, though. I love the Oracle games as well. Have I done Strikers? Do you mean Persona 5 Strikers? I'm still working on Persona 5 for real. Maybe eventually I'll play Strikers. I technically have it on PC. Hello, Lonnie. Should you play Fire Emblem Awakening, your first Fire Emblem, or Trails from Zero next? I love Fire Emblem Awakening. I think it's that's actually my first ever Fire Emblem game. I think a good starting point, especially if you're interested in modern Fire Emblem games. Zero is also a very good game, though. I love Trails from Zero. I'm assuming you played the Sky games already? If not, you might want to wait and play the Sky games before jumping to Trails from Zero. Dragon Quest Infinity Strash is based on a Jump manga anime. Okay. You're better off playing Twilight Princess native PC port. I think I will wait on that. I feel like it's going to come to Switch, so I'll just wait for that. Got lots of games to play before trying to break out the emulators for Nintendo games. 7 out of 10 is above average. It depends on what scale you're looking at. A 7 out of 10 in in school is considered average, mid-average, 70%, at least here in the States. 6 is technically below average, a D rather than a C. But it all depends what your scale is. But that's where the whole 7 out of 10 mid comes from, like C average. Have I played to the CD Projekt Red creator program? I did, Coogan. Hopefully, I'd love to stream more Witcher games. I love The Witcher. I keep wanting to replay The Witcher 3 on PC before the DLC comes out, but I have no idea when I'm going to fit that in. You think you've been on the... wait, I think I've been Are the Sun too many times to buy things because of FOMO anymore. That's good. You know, patience pays. That's the best thing you could do as sometimes a collector. Patience. If you get Persona 1 and 2 remakes, I hope they can push out before the disc deadline. Yeah, because it's not going to go on a Switch 2 cart. Sega is anti-true physicals. Did you guys see how big the Metaphor Revantaggio Switch 2 game key card data is? They made it 60... was it 66 or was it 65? I think it was 65 gigabytes. So they were 1 gigabyte over the limit of how much she could fit on that cart. Was it on purpose? Did they do that on purpose? Did they not optimize it just so it's right over it? Man. It still rubs me the wrong way. Some of these companies who are refusing to use true physical Switch 2 carts. When you see a lot of indie companies, they are more than happy to use them and at great price points. I don't know. It's starting to look a little bit greedy to me. I won't lie. And trying to push this towards digital. To bump up those digital sales, because look at Square Enix and Capcom's digital sales. Those big numbers are just making it so that they can, you know, abandon physical that much sooner. What's the point of going 0 to 10 out of 100? Anything below 70% is considered trash, apparently. I've not tried Tales of Fantasia. I haven't played that many SNES games at all unless they've had a port, because I never owned it back in the day. Looking back at all the RPGs played since you started streaming, what has been the RPG story that stuck the most with me? One of that maybe I still think about. There's been so many. I've been playing so many bangers this year alone. Like, I played Final Fantasy X for the first time. I played Tales of Berseria for the first time. I played Nier Automata for the first time. I think this is very much recency bias, but I think the story to Ys 10 Nordics has probably been the one that stuck with me the most. I really like that game. But so many great games, yeah, that I've been able to stream. How well did Fire Red Leaf Green sell? I think it did numbers. There's actually rumors that they're going to soon port the Gen 3 games. So Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald. I think there are rumors that it's going to be the next digital port for Pokemon, following the success of Leaf Green and Fire Red. There is a new Witcher 3 DLC coming out next year. There's this whole, what is it? I think I saw it on Reddit. We could pull up this Reddit page. Let me see if I can find it first. The whole, what is cooking for CD Projekt Red the next few years. They have a lot going on. Okay, I found it. Let me share. There we go. We got, so this is compiled by this guy, so thank you. But the DLC, it's coming out. Story DLC is going to be connected to all these things. It's going to come out this year. Okay, H1. I don't know what H1 means. But The Witcher 4 is coming out late next year. We're going to have Witcher Cyrus, a spin-off, following year. Cyberpunk 2 Orion, 29. Witcher 1 Remake in 2030. And then plans for Witcher 5, 6, and a new IP, Hadar. So CD Projekt Red is working on a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff. Let's see. The Midnight Walk out tomorrow for... I don't know what that is. Oh, you mean Super Rare? Yes, it's getting a Switch 2 version of Midnight Walk, the Midnight Walk. There's also Pixel and Loves is doing, I think, physicals for the PS5. That's coming out in October. That one has VR support, if you are into that, because it's a first-person game. Am I going to play Elden Ring when it comes out on Switch 2? Probably not. I think, at this point, I'm just going to play it on PC, because I have it on PC. I don't know when I'm going to play it, though. I have a list of games. If you guys haven't been coming to my streams, basically what happens if you accumulate channel points on my Twitch streams. So the more you watch, the more points you accumulate. If you have enough points, you can redeem a game for me to stream. And so we got a big old list of games that the ones that have, focus camera. And so I have Liza P as my next Souls-like experience. We're working on Persona 5 Royal. We'll do Oblivion Game of the Year edition, and then there's Yakuza 0, Skyward Sword, and then Tomb Raider 2013. Those are games I've been working on to stream next, outside of what I'm playing right now. So I don't know when Elden Ring is going to happen, but I'm probably going to play it on PC. Did I see the recent trailer for Sky Second? I have not watched it, Omar. Mostly because it's just going to make me more impatient for the game to come out. So I've been trying to avoid it. I already know what happens in the game. I just am so excited for it. Fire Red and Leaf Green re-release did 4 million. Oh my gosh. Look at those numbers. Just easy money for them. They're going to port, I think, all of the Game Boy Advance versions of that game. Of all those Pokemon games. Easy money. Easy money. Made you happy when you found out you started playing Nier Automata? Can't wait until you play Replicant. Or even the older Drakengard games. I do have Replicant on my Steam wish list, where I'm tracking it to see when it gets discounted. So, or I might just buy the PS4 version at this point. But I want to play it at some point. Hello, Dane. I really want Pokemon Soul Silver and Heart Gold to come out. I miss those on the DS, and they are absurdly expensive physically. I think they're going to happen. They got to happen. I think we'll get some sort of version available at some point. Another easy port, easy money. You hope Cyberpunk sequel could be a true physical on Switch 2? It might be pushing it for the true physical, unfortunately. Especially if the more assets, they're going to make that more, just too big. But you never know, I guess. Quantity over quality. Quantity? What? Who subscribes to that? Excited when I get to Yakuza 0. Yeah, I'm curious how I will take to the Yakuza games. What are my thoughts on super rare games? Have I ordered for them? I ordered from them a couple times. They're good. I have my a short hike physically back there from them, and I love that physical. I don't see myself ever selling it because I love that game. So I do recommend them. The issue with them is that you have to import it, so it is expensive if you don't live in the UK. It's become more expensive to import. You do have to wait a little bit, and they have a finite number that they make. So sometimes those games get absurdly expensive on the aftermarket, so people just buy them up to resell, which is a shame. Because usually they limit the copies to like 5,000 or like 10,000, depending on how popular the title is. The other issue with them is that a lot of their games are kind of exclusive to them physically. And so they never see any other retail version, or in my case, ESRB version from like another company, whether it's Limited Run or someone else. So they feel very exclusive. That's why they're kind of like expensive, and I always have to think twice if I want to buy it or not. It definitely incites a bit of FOMO in me because of the limited quantities, and that's not something I want to feel when I'm trying to make a gaming purchase these days. So I feel mixed, but overall they're fine if you want to order for them. Am I planning to check out another Eden? I'm going to wait for the physical for that, but I am very interested because that is from the writers of Chrono Trigger. I still think the game looks like a mobile game, which it is, but the art style is not inspired. I hope it is a good story, though, makes up for that, and I hear the music is amazing. So I'm looking forward to another Eden. But I think the physical version of that in the West is coming out at a later date, so I'm going to wait for that. Do I play the games for my collector's editions? I don't have any sealed collector's editions, so yes. I do plan on playing all of them if I haven't played them yet. I'm not a sealed collector. CD Projekt Red, I think they made a mistake with the Cyberpunk launch, but they've since made up for it. So I don't think... But we'll have to see, again, how the DLC for The Witcher 3 and Witcher 4 comes out, but I'm a bit more optimistic now that they've kind of made up for the mistakes they did with the launch of Cyberpunk, because now it runs fine. But, yeah, that was a mess for sure at launch. But I think they have reflected and made up for what they did. Hydration. You only have one limited run game, and potentially Incombini. Serenity Forge is not limited They are a retail publisher, Serenity Forge. They're not limited print. I'm a fan of Serenity Forge. I'm on good terms with them. But they make great physicals. Quantity always wins. That's why Walmart and Amazon are so big. That is one argument, yes. Oh, one thing, if you guys are not aware, if you're into visual novels and you missed out on the House of Fata Morgana, the limited run version, it's not an ad, but just letting you guys know. Clear River Games is making a physical for it. And I think they have a sale right now. So this is mostly, I would recommend this if you live out in Europe, buy it from them directly. If you don't live out in Europe, I would just go with Video Games Plus or Play Asia is also selling this. But basically, they have, let me get this. Here we go. They are selling, so clearrivergames.com. They are selling a retail version, and it's pretty cheap. It's $33, but the caveat is if you ship this to the US, it's like $35 in shipping with imports, tariff stuff, and shipping costs. So I do highly recommend if you want to order this, it is the PEGI version. But it's much cheaper than if you want to buy the Switch version. That's the ESRB Limited Run Games version. It also comes with a double-sided art card, which is nice. I think the pre-order is 10% off right now. So that's why it's priced here. Or sorry, it's priced, this has the 10% off. So it's regularly $33. You save a couple dollars if you order it soon. But Video Games Plus has it, I think, around $40-something, and you can get free shipping with them if you meet their minimum shipping requirements. So choose whichever one has the cheapest shipping is my recommendation. But it's cool. I don't know if Video Games Plus is going to get the pre-order bonus art card, if it's inside that, or an external bonus. But something to think about. It's a double-sided cover, it looks like, so that's cool. This is a wonderful visual novel if you've not played it. It comes with the main story, Requiem for Innocence and Reincarnation, and other short stories. So a very dark but good visual novel. And this is one of the reasons why you should not FOMO a lot of those limited print publishers. Other limited print publishers, like once those terms that they come up with expire, they're free to make retail versions or, again, work with other companies to make these games into physicals. So definitely don't overpay for limited run games or those other sort of stuff on the secondary market, because physicals like this reappear. So a little PSA there. Limited run game you have is Persona 3 and 4 for Switch, and you love them. That's fair. That's fair. I don't know if Sega would reprint those, but you never know. They might do like a double pack Asian English version. It's just gonna. The other, I guess, caveat to this is we are entering sort of an era where there are fewer physicals being made, so you do have to sort of take a chance if you want to wait for another physical appearing. It might not happen because physical becomes out of vogue. There's no demand for it. But I think there's going to be plenty of demand for it in the next few years, for especially Nintendo Switch physicals. So don't overpay, is what I'm trying to say. You just jumped into Sky Mayhem. It's pretty good so far. It's definitely a grind. Yeah, that game, I really enjoyed it. I thought the whole Flan storyline was funny, and the gameplay is fun. I haven't gone back to it since that stream. I want to finish it. I think I have to grind a bit because Disgaea is basically a grinding game where you're supposed to up your stats and levels, but it's a good one. At full price, I don't know, but it's still a good one. See, you got the digital version of Fata Morgana because it was $10. You know, that's a great deal. $10 is a steal for this. It's a wonderful visual novel. You'll have multiple hours of great reading here. Science Adventure is the gold standard for visual novels. All of them? All of them? I don't know about all of them. But I'm really excited about Steins Gate finally getting the physical with the reboot version. I think that's where I'm going to finally read Steins Gate. I've been putting it off for too long, even after seeking out the PS Vita physicals a couple years ago. But I'm excited for that. It's coming out in October. They also have a steelbook with the retail version, which is nice. Am I tempted for the Zelda 40th anniversary Switch 2? We talked about that a little bit earlier in stream, Dane, but I don't plan on buying a new Switch anytime soon. I think it looks nice, though. I don't need it. You always forget to order Fata Morgana. Be a nice surprise when it finally shows up. It's supposed to come out... When's it coming out? I think this version's coming out in... Do they have a date for me? They don't list a date here. Why? I guess in the next month or so. So hopefully I'll get it soon. Since Bethesda and by extension Microsoft seem to have a good relationship with me, are there any plans to expand work with Nintendo plus Sony? Oh. So I wouldn't say I have a good relationship with Microsoft. I think I'm just on a Bethesda PR list. Nintendo, I don't think I'll be able to get a relationship with Nintendo or Sony. They're harder to contact. So I don't see that happening. You find all the physicals you had on your list since June. Just got a cat game called Gory and Epic Mickey yesterday. I don't know if I've heard of Gory. It's a cat game? I like cat games. Honestly, Fata Morgana became one of my favorite visual novels to experience. It's one of my top favorites. It's great. I did read Witch on the Holy Night. It's a really good one. Have you played... It's back there. Have you played the other one? The other one's even better. But they're both good. Let's see. They don't get a physical, you don't pay for them. That's... You know, it's a good way to, like, limit what games you check out, because it could get overwhelming with how many games there are. Like, if you look at Steam, they have new games. Like, it's ridiculous how many new games are on Steam annually. It can be overwhelming. So limiting yourself just to physical is fine. Sometimes it is a little limiting, though. Like, if you are for example, Xenoblade fan, if you didn't experience Future Redeemed because there's no physical version of that, I would feel bad for you, because that is an amazing story. One of the highlights of the Xenoblade franchise is Future Redeemed. So sometimes, like for me, I've been more open to digital now that I have a PC. But typically I don't buy a lot of digital games on console because they're often offered on PC, where I prefer my digital games to be stored. And there are some exceptions, though, with some consoles. If it's the only place I can find them, or it's like dirt cheap, I don't mind. A gritty cat game. What's a gritty cat game? What makes it gritty? I've not played Splatoon at all. I don't know. There's so many games, guys. I don't know if I can make time right now to play Splatoon. Any of the Splatoons. Splatoon Raiders or the mainline games. I just don't think it's a game for me, but sometimes you have to know what your gaming tastes are. It's good to, I think, sometimes experiment with other genres or things outside your comfort zone. But also sometimes you kind of know if a game's going to vibe with you or not. I don't really see Splatoon vibing with me because it seems more akin to people who like multiplayer games and more, dare I say, like party games. I don't really play those. I like my single player experiences. And I know Splatoon Raiders is a single player game, but it's still similar to, you know, what makes Splatoon Splatoon with the mainline. I have Raging Loop on my backlog there. I hear that's also a very good game. I might try to read that around Halloween season. I'm kind of disappointed the physical Xenoblade doesn't come out until October. Yeah, but I wonder why it was delayed. Like, was it last minute, or they were trying to make sure enough copies were around, or were there some bugs they needed to patch up? That's why there was a delay. I don't know. If that's the case, I'm okay with that. But I just spent $10 to get the upgrade. I'm gonna buy it eventually, but I was impatient, and I did upgrade digitally. Another example of a console digital purchase I made. Steam does have a great refund policy. That is true. You don't have the same on consoles. Did I hear about the cat turn-based game? I think I saw something about it. I did not see gameplay for it, though. You're mainly a JRPG fan, but Splatoon 3 and Raiders got you hooked for some reason. That's fair. That's totally fair. Do I have any GameCube games I liked? I've never owned a GameCube, so my knowledge of the GameCube games are very limited. I don't think I've actually played that many unless it's had a remaster or a port. My first ever Nintendo console was the Switch. Prior to that, I was just handheld only for Nintendo systems. You just got the true ending of Elliot. Now you plan to play Link to the Past and watch my video for my thoughts on both. I would be curious, Dane, if we have similar thoughts or not. Am I going to double dip once physicals come out? Yes. Xenoblade is my second favorite franchise, so yes, I will be double dipping all those physicals. I don't know, I might wait to see if there's going to be a revised version of it, because I'm not worried about it selling out. Not worried. If it does sell out initially, it's going to get reprinted. I think the only where you have pause when it comes to Nintendo reprints is if it has DLC on the cart. It's sometimes less often it'll get reprinted, like the Pokemon ones. I think that's really the only instance where you have to worry a little bit about Switch games not getting reprinted. Have I played Tsushihime? I've started it, but I've not finished it. It's very good, though. Gonna sell your Xeno Trilogy physicals on the Switch 1 once you get the Switch 2 editions. You don't need both. That's right, you don't need both. If it helps offset the cost of rebuying the Switch 2 editions, that's nice. I will say there are some interesting things depending on which versions of the Switch 1 physicals you have. For example, if you have the initial print run of those games, which if you bought the collector's editions, you probably do, you can experience those games unpatched if you don't download those patches. And there are some changes or differences that are kind of funny. But that's, I think, the only really use case if you wanted to keep a hold of them for a purpose of playing or something. What's my favorite franchise? Trails. Trails. It should be no surprise it's Trails, right? I have like 4 dedicated, or all this dedicated shelf space for Trails. My name, Orbalogy, is based off of Trails. Should be no surprise. Torna did get a reprint, indeed. I got a reprint. It's one of the videos I made on this channel. It's about Video Games Plus's reprint stuff with all the Xeno games. I was so excited when I learned that. I made a video on it. I've not played any of the .hack series. I have .hack GU on the Switch, and I've been interested in playing them. I don't know when that'll happen, though. I'm also excited for .hack 0. I went to the panel at Anime Expo for it, and the company were able to self-publish it and not have to go through Bandai Namco, which is really interesting to me. So I'm curious how that game is. So I might try to check that one out sooner than later. You wonder if Nintendo will continue the DLC on cart trend? They didn't do it for Scarlet and Violet technically, at least in the Western copies. I think if you get like a Malaysian version or something, they had all the DLC on the cart, but the copies that were out in the West didn't have all the DLC on it. I think part of it came with a code in the box. Just don't sell your Torna physical. That is good advice there. There is a .hack 0. Should we? They announced it not that long ago. .hack 0. I think they have a website page for it. Yeah. .hack 0. Project start. They got a teaser trailer. I think they showed this. This is, I think, what I saw at, let's see. Add some audio here. Sorry, it's playing the Trails music. I can't stop it. Anyways, we'll hear this with the Trails music in the background. But it looks cool. I'm really curious what it actually looks like in the in-game engine rather than, you know, just the CGI kind of movie stuff. They also have, I think, they were really highlighting, I think, that in the soundtrack, they have this very, like, world-famous, like, violinist who's going to be part of this. And they're highlighting something else, I forget how. It looks cool, though. So I made that too loud. Torna's never being sold. Good. Good. Torna's a great game. The piano was really nice. It just looks a little funny with this with this playing. I've never watched the .hack anime. I'm kind of curious. Is that good to like watch on its own, or is it best to play the games first? Yeah, so it's CyberConnect 2. It's just making this. It's so cool. And yeah, all these names. So very exciting. So basically they have the story of how Bandai Namco Entertainment has given CyberConnect 2 permission to manage the entirety of the project from planning and development to release. So it's going to be their first like self-published game. That's kind of cool. Anyways, exciting news for .hack fans. Very exciting news. I think the animations for the trailer look really good though. It's best watch then play the games. Oh really? Oh, I remember in the PS2 era, right? The .hack games, they used to actually give you the anime DVDs or some episode on a DVD to watch, which I always thought was kind of cool. I don't think... Unfortunately, I think when it comes to the Nintendo Switch 2 editions, we're not going to see any DLC on those. Like, they didn't do it for Breath of the Wild. They haven't done it for any of the Xenoblade games. So, unfortunately, I think for whatever reason, they decided not to put the DLC on there. I don't know if that's because it exceeds the cart size, or they just don't want to deal with that pricing, because they don't want to discount the DLC price. Dot hack anime is kind of a slow burn. I love a good slow burn. As a Trails fan, I love a good slow burn. It's yep, it is before Sword Art Online. It was dot hack. Dot hack came first. Dot hack sign holds up as a standalone. The anime is a prequel, so you can watch that first. I also have a manga. When I got the Dot Hack GU, I think it came with a manga. It might be over there. I forget where I put it. I didn't really look at it because I was like, oh, should I play the game first before I read this? So that was kind of neat to have a physical manga. That was a little bonus from buying from the Bandai Namco store. There were actually, when I went to the panel at Anime Expo, there were a ton of anime fans who were asking, are we going to have more Dot Hack anime like seasons or shows? And they said that they had no plans for it. I think it kind of crushed a lot of the audience members. Well, let's be my second Souls-like game. I guess it will be. If we don't count Souls-like elements from other sort of games. You don't remember the anime being very good? Oh no. Those Legend of Hero games. Wait, Legend of Hero 3, White Witch is coming to Switch via EGG console. Is that gonna have a new translation? Wait, is that Japan only? Or are they gonna have an English version? It sounds like a Japan only thing. They've been doing that lately, which has been annoying. Should I look that up? What is this Legend of Heroes news? Was that on Twitter? Legend of Heroes, which give me something. Oh, our RPG sites. Okay, they got the news. They got the news. Oops. Let's look. Let's look. The 1994 PC 9801 Legend of Heroes 3 White Witch Renewal is coming to Switch via EGG console August 20th. So this will be a port. Yep, it's a port. So this is the first entry of the Garov trilogy, which I've been wanting to play. These were on the PSP back in the day. So this predates any Trails games for those who are unfamiliar what these Legend of Heroes games are. Legend of Heroes Trails in the Sky, so Trails in the Sky first chapter, is basically Legend of Heroes 6, for context. Okay, although this is talking about the 2004 PSP version was localized, the localization was jumbled. Yes, it was supposed to be an awful localization. And okay, they got, it looks like a YouTube video. It's only going to be available in Japanese though. That sucks. Falcom, why do you keep doing all these cool ports but Japanese only? Crushed. There's a US page? How is there a US page? Where does it say that? Oh, I have to open up the store. Was that by mistake, you think, that they had a US page? Man. Don't know anymore. But EGG is an emulator shell for Japanese PC games. Okay. Let's see. Trails in the Sky is no longer the valid entry option. You have to recommend this one instead. We gotta keep moving that goal. Keep moving the bar. If where are you supposed to start in Trails? They did have a weird numbering system of release. You think it was 2, 1, 3? That wouldn't surprise me, to be honest. The first paragraph mentioned it. Oh, you're right. The company also prepared US Nintendo Store page link for this post, but this is not expected to be live until they actually release the port next week. But if it's Japanese only, why is it... Is this going to be Falcom's attempt with AI translations? Is this going to be the first attempt that they use AI translations? Oh, self-publishing AI translations. This has been my fear for Kyoto Xanadu. That's why we haven't heard anything about Kyoto Xanadu localization yet. I hope that is not the case. I really hope that is not the case. This is me fear-mongering, I'm sorry. But also, I hope this is not the case. Oh. Oh. I was excited, now I'm like, oh no. Okay, if this is AI translations, we have to make it fail. We have to make it fail. They have arcade ports on Switch, really? But it's a RPG. There's so much text in it. You think that's going to be what it is? I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. But it's annoying, isn't it? So annoying. You have the Tokyo Xanadu EX Plus on GOG, but it's on your backlog. I'm like a fake Falcom fan. I've not played Tokyo Xanadu yet. Someday I will. I meant to play it before Kyoto Xanadu comes out, but then we never got an actual release date in the West of Kyoto Xanadu, so I just keep delaying it when I play it. Because, okay, I guess talk about mid games. I have kind of caught the whole Tokyo Xanadu is supposed to be fairly mid. And so I've been a little bit anxious starting it for that reason. I want to definitely play it. Don't get me wrong. I will play it. I've just been a little hesitant to start it because of what I've heard about it. But I hope this is just me, unfortunately, bite into the whole mid concept, and I'll actually have a great time. Yep, the financials were up significantly, Dane. We talked about this also earlier in stream, but it's just showing how much interest people have with Trails in Sky First Chapter, and I hope this signifies that we'll get Sky the Third remake. Fake fan. That I am. I think I will like it. It does have its shortcomings, but honestly, I don't think it's going to be so bad that I'll be like, ugh. The thing is, I love all Falcom games I played. So I'm like, this will probably be my least favorite Falcom game, is my guess, but I'll still like it, because I like Falcom games. Which also, speaking of Falcom, I'm very interested in what is the new Dragon Slayer game going to be that they've been teasing. This Dragon Slayer is also a Legend of Heroes game. I forget which number it is. It's Legend of Heroes something. But I'm very curious. What are they going to do with this? Is this going to be the alternate, like, series they'll emphasize that's going to be long-running, like, long storytelling once Trails is finished? Which, oh my gosh, Trails. Just saying Trails is finishing. I feel mixed. But we'll see. Am I not boiling? It's just a little warm. It's a little warm. Dragon Slayer is the original title. Thank you. So that's Dragon Slayer is the first Legend of Heroes game. So I'm curious what they do with it. I'm sure they'll work their magic. It'll be a cool experience, but very curious. Where now that the company is making so much profit, they're going to, I'm sure, put that more into their foundation and make sure all the different teams that are working on various titles are well funded, plenty of development funds, and also advertising funds. They're probably going to be appearing in more Nintendo Directs, even though they kind of had a wasted opportunity with the latest Kyoto Xanadu one. But that aside, I'm optimistic what the future holds for Falcom. You think the argument about mid-games is mostly on price? Based full price, it's harder to swallow. If you're having fun, though, I would be okay paying full price for a mid-game that I had fun with. It just depends what you're looking for. It's more of a risk, for sure. But if in the end you had fun, money well spent. If Falcom make their own localization, like if Falcom decided they're going to use all of the revenue, or sorry, all the profits and build up their own localization team, like in-house localization team, I think that could be very interesting. They wouldn't have to utilize the other publishers out here because they're split between so many different publishers. We have Nisa, Xseed, Gung Ho, Refund also did the fighting game. Like, they're split among so many different publishers that they decided to really focus on in-house localization. I think that could be cool. But that would take a lot of resources and connections, especially if they are trying to find, like, voice actors out in the West. Like, I don't know how that would totally work, but it could be cool if they wanted to do that. And maybe they could help other smaller, like, AA studios in Japan also localize their games. I think that could be cool, but maybe that's not what they want to do. They want to probably, like, the issue is with a lot of these companies, the more they expand and be more hats, they sort of lose the plot. We've seen that with some other companies, so hopefully they don't go a little off the rails if they have ambitious plans to expand in other aspects of game stuff. King Stud, hello. Am I liking the Tales series so far? I've only played 2. I played Exilia and Berseria, and I started Arise. I like it for the most part. I feel mixed about certain titles. It's mostly the combat I feel mixed about. I did like Arise's combat, though. I'm looking forward to playing Tales of Eternia, that remaster, this fall. But yeah, Tales are just, I think, a franchise I'll slowly be getting through. Let's see. Kondo, if you remember correctly, says you want to see 2 games or more on a frequent basis. They could be kind of doing that. It depends if they're talking about in Japan or in the West. And does that include remasters? You have a question if you play only indie, if you play games indie and anime games, are you a gamer? If you play any games, you're a gamer. It doesn't matter if it's AAA or not. If you play mobile games, I would still consider you a gamer. Do I play mobile games? No, but I wouldn't put too much stock on labels, is all I'll say. You don't need other people to validate what you do for a hobby. Play what you like. If they vertically integrate their localization side, it would be their benefit. I think so. But it depends, yeah, if they want to invest in that or not. You predict that the end of the 2nd chapter remake will have a teaser for Sky the Third? Probably. Probably. That would definitely follow course what they did in 1st chapter. Your hot take? Tales is kind of mid, but it's kind of meant to be. I don't think that's that hot of a take. It's not that hot of a take. Grandia, I have Grandia on the PS4. The collection there, I do want to play it. I don't know if I will stream it, play it on my own, or have it on my Let's Play channel. But I definitely want to play the first 2 Grandia games at least. Eternia got you into JRPGs, so I hope I like it. I hope I do too. It looks really good. I like the art style. And the characters from the trailers I've seen so far look charming. I do have Vesperia too. Someday I'm slowly making my way through the Tales games. There's so many franchises I need to play that I have yet to. If you play games, you're a gamer. Exactly. Validate your own hobbies. That's the good position to have, I think. Think Sky the Third will be DLC? Like the answer. That would be a very big DLC, though, if they try to do one-to-one of it. I don't know. Personally, I want Sky the Third to be its own game, but they also expand upon it. But maybe that's a pipe dream. I just think it'll be cool to add some extra star doors to connect to recent games. Are mobile games the modern portable games from yesteryear? Probably. Oh, THX, thank you. We need a successor to A Link Between Worlds. I would love that. Imagine if they announced something like that for the Zelda 40th anniversary. I guess, okay, I doubt they would do that because they don't want to, you know, they really want to hype up Ocarina of Time remake. So I think if we hear any new Zelda project, it's going to be after Ocarina of Time remake comes out. But I would love for a follow-up to A Link Between Worlds. I love those games. You finished Octopath Traveler 0 in 2 days? How do you finish that game in 2 days? It's like a 100-hour game. That's impossible? Or do you mean something else? Did you take 2 days to finish it at the end? I have not finished Arise yet, no. I've been so busy. So many games I'm juggling. Speaking of mid, but maybe actually quite good games I also have are Dragonstar Varnir and Death End Request and Valkyrie Rose. A lot of those are, yeah, Idea Factory, right? They tend to be considered, like, people like to call them mid. But, you know, there's still, I'm sure, enjoyment out of them. I've not played them myself. But, yeah, I'm not familiar with Dark Rose Valkyrie. Tales of Vesperia was mid to you, but the characters were the strongest point. Sometimes it's nice to have, you know, the characters as, like, the, I do like a character-focused story. I think that's why I'm liking Persona 5 Royal so much, because a lot of it's just very character-focused. And I don't mind that I spend 6 hours just voice acting their interactions and not playing any turn-based combat. But, yeah, for me, definitely character-focused narratives are my favorite. Have I tried Emio the Smiling Man yet? I've not. It's in my backlog. I've been wanting to play those, though. Oh, I also want to play, yeah, the other Famicom detective games. Though, they're just digitally on Switch. YOLO. YOLO. Still alive, still YOLO. Think they can make Fantasian look really cool? I think so. I think they could. Don't think Pipe Dream. They have all the assets from Arabonia or even Calvert to connect it better. True, true. There's definitely a door you could have done without. Oh. You know, it was an impactful door if we're thinking of the same one, but yeah. I wonder how they're going to tackle that one in Sky the Third remake. Could show stuff like Kilika joining the intelligence division. That would be really cool. Octopath Traveler, easily a 100-hour game. Easily. Easily. I don't know if you could speedrun that game. Has anyone speedrun that game? I can't imagine finishing that in 2 days. You recently beat Alive Alive and Sea of Stars. Beautiful games with some neat ideas, but you honestly felt pretty disappointed in them. Oh, sorry to hear that, Sir Pipwise or Pipwise. I've not played Live Alive. I did play Sea of Stars. And I do think the pacing could have been a little bit better with Sea of Stars, especially after when I was streaming it. I did feel a little fatigued with the battle system, because you had to be really on it with the time presses. And I'm not always on especially when I'm streaming for long hours. I haven't played the Watchmakers DLC. I hear that's good. But overall, I like Sea of Stars, but it's not an S tier game for me. I would say it's like a B+ tier game. I liked it a lot, but there are some flaws I guess I could point out if I wanted. It's beautiful though. I love the soundtrack, and it looks really pretty. And I thought there were some cool plot things they did in the plot. And some good characters too. I think the main characters could have had a little bit more personality. I think maybe that was the biggest flaw for me, was the main characters were less interesting than the rest of the cast. Well, Trails, this guy, I think Trails the Third will come out next year. Honestly, I think all the Trails remakes are going to come out September on an annual basis. Third chapter Trails the Third should not be difficult for Valcom to make. They have all the assets. I'm pretty sure they've probably finished it by now. But who knows? Third got an age 18 rating in Germany thanks to that door. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. Is it too... Okay, even 48 hours for a 100-hour game, I cannot imagine. I cannot imagine. That is a lot. That is a lot. You haven't tried the DLC either? Might change things up. I hear it's not like you could go into it anytime, the DLC, so... But I've heard it's fun. For Sea of Stars. Garl the game. I like Garl. Garl is great. He was the best character. But, yeah. I did like Siri as well. I think she was good. But the main characters were disappointing. Did I check out Phantom Blade? I've not looked at the new Phantom Blade Zero trailer. They have that famous Hong Kong actor, right? Who's playing it? That was a cool surprise to see. It's also time exclusive, but it's also coming out on PC launch day. It's just funny how they use the term, it's a time exclusive to PlayStation, but it's also coming out on PC. Like, that doesn't count. It definitely does count. I'm curious about the game because it's not a Souls-like game. It's just a pure action game. So I'm curious how it feels to play it. You checked and see Octopath Traveler 0 speedrun on YouTube. 5 hours? It doesn't seem possible to me either. How? Sea of Stars, you love the look and the music too. The battle system was fun. It didn't involve much. Yeah, I think that's part of why I thought the battle system felt a little fatiguing, especially with the time presses. And I just had to be so focused every time we go in battle. It felt a little draining because of how focused you have to be with the time presses sometimes. And it feels less fun and leisurely. I felt that way with Expedition 33 as well, but thankfully I didn't play Expedition 33 for that long. Like, I finished the game in 28 hours, which felt like an appropriate amount of time to be like constantly on and making sure you get those time presses. I think I'm really bad at rhythm games, so maybe that's part of it. But I always feel very stressed and overcomplicate time presses where I have to exert a ton of energy to do them and do them well. Jackie Chan? No, not him. I forget his name. I could look it up. But, the Fanblade Zero guy, his name is... What's his name? Donnie Yen. The legendary martial artist from the Ip Man franchise. There you go. Him. Like, I like the time presses in Xenoblade 2 because there's not that many of them. And they have a very long like a very wide window. I don't have to feel like I have to be within a second of pressing it correctly. It's just a little stressful to me. But yes, I think if I do play a time press games, they do it like Xenoblade 2. Or they make the combat super minimal and not that long. Otherwise, I feel fatigued playing it. Yeah, Donnie Yen. I thought that was really cool news to see him, that he's part of it. They really kept that hidden for years. They've been dealing with that game for so long. So I'm a little shocked. He was also in Fast and Furious. Yeah. Next year, we're going to have so many great games. Yeah. Genesis. Revival for Persona 4. I have so many games I want to play next year. Especially like early next year. And I'm assuming we're going to have news of more games next year that haven't been announced yet. It's going to be another packed year. When are these like awesome games going to slow down? You know, with all the issues in the industry, there's going to be some weird gap year. I don't know. Or they're just going to fill them up with, I guess, more remakes, remasters. But I don't know. Final Fantasy VII Revelation, definitely a big one I'm excited for. Definitely. I imagine also for Falcon fans, they have to have Trails Beyond the Horizon 2 come out next year. And I really hope it's a simultaneous release. If it's not, I'm going to be really sad. I'm going to be really sad. But we'll see. What do I think about the new YouTube guidelines for monetization? I don't know how many of you guys are interested in that. They have doubled the watch time or the monetized views. I don't make short content, so I don't really have much to say about the short content monetization. But it has made it so that I feel less inclined to make shorts, for sure. Even though usually how I would view shorts is a way to reach new audiences than be paid. It's more about reach than payment. But for creators, though, who only make shorts, I could see how that news was a blow. For regular videos, watch time, you have to have from 4,000 a year, like annual watch hours, to 8. I think it's still very much achievable to do. Things like live streams here, this counts as watch hours. So I think it's easier to have, with the popularity, I think, of longer videos and streams, it's easier to make that 8,000 watch hour minimum to get monetized. I will say, though, if you're trying to get AdSense with just 8,000 watch hours, I would not expect a lot of money. AdSense does not pay that much, unfortunately. There'll be months where you don't make the minimum payment to get money, if you've just met the minimum. But you know, I think instead of being devastated by the news, which I've seen a lot of people voice on social media, it should be more of like a motivation driving force to just pump out more content. That's what I've been doing personally this past month. You guys have noticed I've had a big uptick of videos come out, and I'm trying to maintain that. It's a lot of work, but I think it is worthwhile doing. So I would see it as more of a motivation factor and to separate yourself from all the AI slop out there. That should be the motivation. And hopefully the AI slop will not get monetized and they give up. But unfortunately, I think there's going to be plenty of AI slop that reach those numbers because a lot of people still can't tell the difference between AI slop and real content. It's going to be a constant war. We'll see. Anyways, my small thing for anyone who's interested about the behind the scenes with content creation. Anyways, nice to have more videos content to watch. Exactly. I just need to figure out a way to balance better my Let's Play channel. I feel bad. I have not posted on that for a couple weeks. I need to get back on that because I want to play more Path of Radiance. I've been bad. But yeah. But anyways, I think this is probably a good place to end for this week. Orbal Chats. Thanks everyone for hanging out with me and talking about all this recent gaming news. It sounded like you guys were interested in a live stream of the D23 Kingdom Hearts stream. So we could do that Saturday. It's at 4:30 Pacific Saturday night or afternoon. So we can react to that together. See what news they drop about Kingdom Hearts 4. I feel very optimistic they'll drop some big news during that. So I think that could be really fun to watch right before I continue my playthrough of Kingdom Hearts 1 on Sunday. THX, thank you for the super chat. Who would have thought that Nintendo was the keeper of the physical torch for the most part this generation on Switch 2? Nintendo I always kind of seen as more physical first compared to the other companies, but I was a little bit cautious with them when they introduced the Game Key card so prominently last year. But it does seem like the tides have shifted back where Nintendo has become, again, the keeper of true physicals. I just hope that more third-party publishers get on board and release more true physicals than give us those Game Key cards that are unnecessary for a lot of those cases. I'm not too optimistic that will change their ways unless they are told from the top from Nintendo that they should do this, or the numbers kind of point them that they should do it, which doesn't look like that's the case, unfortunately. But who knows? Who knows? Anyways, I guess I will see you guys later. Tomorrow we'll be doing more Persona 5 Royal. Getting further. Now that we beat the 5th palace, after that ridiculous boss fight. I think they only took you 3 tries, but still, ridiculous boss fight. I'm still recovering. That was such a long one. Anyways, you guys all take care. And if you haven't checked out my new video yet on my YouTube channel, look at it, please. I talk about 10 so-called mid-games that I'm really glad I didn't skip out on after being told to, not waste my time on them because they're just so-called mid. But they're good games. So check that out if you haven't yet. And I'll see you all later. So bye-bye for now.